Well, good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Really should start using my GoPro or something so I can use the remote to be like, but no, I don't. I hold on to the old. I hold on to the past. This camera actually has to be retired. It's that color changing from being dropped so much. I really need to change this over to the next camera, but I haven't yet. Anyway, today we are drinking a beer from Mikkeller. This is their Geek breakfast, and this is apparently, well, the UPC sends it to the Mikkeller Brewing in San Diego, but this was bought at the LCBO by Chris. Thank you very much, Chris. I would assume that this is brewed in Toronto. So, let's see here. Yep. Brewed and canned by Mikkeller in Toronto, Ontario, product of Canada. So, it's not from San Diego. This one says 7.5. This one says 7.2. 4 people I know have tapped it in, a 3.76 out of 5. 11,000 people, 3.87 out of 5. All it says on here is oatmeal stout with coffee. So what do we have? DC untapped it at home. It looks like an entirely different can. Entirely different can. So maybe he had the one from San Diego. Blacktooth also tapped it in. Beer Llama tapped it in, and Peter from across the pond tapped it in. Okay. Let's see what the can says, shall we? Again, I know this is a coffee stout. Strong beer at 7.2% alcohol. I don't drink a lot of strong beers, so it's oatmeal stout brewed with coffee. It is water, barley, oats, hops, coffee, yeast. That's all we really have on here. Represented by the Craft Brand Company in Toronto, Canada. If I remember correctly, at one point the Craft Brand Company also did, who were the guys that did Monty? Lost Tomorrow? No, Lost Tomorrow was one of their beers, wasn't it? I can't remember. But I believe they had something to do with them, too. Okay, so it's been a long time since I've had a higher ABV beer. I'm a little worried here. I'm a little worried. Color? It's black as the black blood of the earth. Actually, yeah, it's not even mocha. I don't see anything through that. Mocha head, however. Wow, that's a nice head. Nice snap, crackle, pop. Beer is immensely appealing to my eyes. Not hard to do, my eyes don't see much, yeah, my eyes don't see much. Scent from the can. Okay, so, from the can, a little bit of coffee, a little bit of roastiness. However, I get that soy sauce scent, that, thick, pungent, somewhat sweet scent. It is a scent that comes off on a lot of the European stouts I end up getting. Now, I know that this one is not European per se. It's the European recipe brewed in Toronto. But that's how it smells for me. Out of the glass. Okay, out of the glass I get chocolate, I get coffee. I don't smell the soy sauce note that I'm getting out of the can. It smells rather pleasant. Cheers. What noise?
Buzzing noise.
I don't know. I don't hear a buzzing noise out here.
It stopped just before you opened the door.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the door vibrating. That's very nice. It's not, oh my god, that's good. It's very nice. And what I find with Mikkeller is I have 3 trains of thought with Mikkeller. I either get, no thanks, that's a little much, or I get, that's really nice, or I get, oh my god, that's good. Those are the 3 choices with this brewery. It's either like a 2 or 3, a 6, or like an 8. And I think this is in the 6 to 7 range for me. I think it's a solid beer. I get a lot of chocolate. I get a lot of coffee. I get a lot of burnt wood and burnt black coffee. Nice mouthfeel. A little bit of sticky lips. There is an alcohol warming that hits right about here, and living in Regina, that's nice. Warm me up, baby. Warm me up. Because it can be cold in this motherfucking province. It's really not bad. It's not bad at all. And I mean, it sounds weird to go, oh, it's not bad. Like I'm saying, oh, actually, no, it's a very solid drinking beer. I love the coffee. I love the burnt wood. I love the chocolate. It's just, I think I'm just not used to 7% alcohol beers anymore. Like, even when you give me something in the 6 range, I'm like, huh, it's a little high for me. I'm getting old. Like, I am. I like to drink. If I drink a beer, I don't want to have one. I want to have, like, somewhere between 3 and 6. So I really look at the beers that are in the 2% to, like, 6% range. Once we go above the 6% range, I'm like, I'm in my 40s now, man. Like, I don't drink like I used to. And I mean, yeah, sometimes it's only 2 or 3 beers, but I always have more than one. And something like this is like a one-off. You know, like it's 7% alcohol. It's like 2 light beers, right? Like, so I can have one of these for every 2 of those. And I know, you want quality over quantity, but I would love to have quality and quantity at the same time. I mean, like, I would love to have a bunch of really good 5% alcohol beers instead of one really good 8% alcohol beer, because if I have a bunch of them, I'm spending more time enjoying my time with my friends or whatever. I don't think it's a bad beer. I don't. I think it is a solid beer. Again, coffee, burnt wood, burnt bread, chocolate. That burnt coffee and burnt toast type of flavor is sticking in the back of my palate right now. I enjoy the warmth of the beer. I don't particularly know. I don't know if this is a beer I would ever really drink again. Like, I've had it. I've had Beer Geek breakfast now. Yay, Beer Geek breakfast. But would I drink it again? Would I drink it as a breakfast beer? It has a nice full mouthfeel. It gives us sticky lips. It does everything it's supposed to do. It even leaves clingers on your glass, but I don't. I thank Chris because I never would have had this otherwise. So thank you very much, Chris. Um, I love that Mikkeller brews in Canada to get past a lot of excise laws and everything else. If I remember correctly, I don't remember if it's Common Good or the People's Pint that they brew at, but it's one of the two, I do believe. A lot of breweries use cool brewing, but a lot of breweries use both the aforementioned ones. There's a lot of breweries that have open capacity, and they brew for a lot of different people, and a lot of times it's from different countries so that they can get past the excise laws and not pay as much tax and everything else. And that's excellent for them, and it's excellent for the consumer, especially if you're in Ontario. If this stuff from the south ends up opening the borders, who knows what you might see in your future. But for right now, I appreciate the fact that I had this sent to me. I appreciate the beer. It's a good beer. But do I think I would drink it again? Maybe. Do I think I would buy it again? No. And it's not because it's a bad beer. It's not what I would normally buy. And even on top of that, if I'm going to buy something that's higher ABV, there's a lot of choices that I would rather have than this one. So this Mikkeller beer is in that it's a good beer category. You know, it's a solid drinking beer. Out of 10? .75. Again, I think it's a very good beer. For me personally, I don't think I would buy it again, and that's what it comes down to. It's a solid beer that this is probably my one and done unless somebody comes over one day and goes, "Here, Chad, here's a beer," and they pull this out, and I'm going to be like, "Hey, I've had that. That's a good beer. Let's drink it together." But other than that, yeah, it is what it is, right? Thank you guys. Thank you, Chris. Bye bye.